Hi friends, let's move towards the western coast now. Let's see how does it look like. This is the western coast and you can see there are a lot of countries. Let us give these a number. So starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, here we have 8 countries. We can call it as the west coast. This is my west coast. Okay, so starting with number 1, it is south of Africa. It is South Africa, the place we get a lot of lions, gold, diamond and cricket matches. Number two, remember Africa do like girls, so that they have kept all the names, or several countries have names similar to the girls, the name of the girls. Okay, so it is, we have Kenya here, Tanya here, so we have Namya here, Namya or Namibia. Will that be fine? Okay, so this number 2 is Namibia for Namya. Number 3, Akagola, Angola. That is a ball of fire in Hindi, Akagola. So it's synonymous with that, Angola. Number 4, do you see this? It has a very small sea coast. Very small. This country is huge, magnificent, but coast very small. Okay, so I was in class 5 when I remember we had a chapter on biodiversity in EVS class. That was on Zaire. This country's name is Zaire, and now the politicians there, they have kept its name as the Democratic Republic of Congo. So Democratic Republic of Congo, they call it like this, or otherwise you can also call it as Zaire. So Zaire or DRC, one and the same thing, DRC, you can call it for short. And then number 5, it is Congo. It is the real Congo. So Congo and DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. The actual story is, initially this was a big country which got bifurcated. This line that you see, it is actually the river, and this river, this line, making in the dots. Okay, this is actually River Congo. So River Congo. Congo divides Congo and Zaire. In Zaire, this river is known as Zaire, the river Zaire. In Congo, this river is known as River Congo, and hence they have changed the name to DRC otherwise. And it has a lot of biodiversity. And for the fact, we should know that the equator passes through Zaire. Okay, Zaire and Congo both. So this line, if I let me make it with black. Okay, this line is somewhere. This is equator. You can see it, how much hot it would be. Okay, and this line that you see, this area, this is a big lake called as Lake Victoria. This is also on the equator. Okay, we'll come back to it later, but well, let's begin again with Zaire and Congo. Now what is number 6 here? We have done with number 4 with a very small sea coast. Number 5 again very small sea coast. Number 6, 6 name is Gabon, Gabon. It's Gabon. Number 8 is Cameroon. Cameroon spellings would be CAMEOON. It is synonymous with the Prime Minister of UK. Okay, David Cameroon. So this number 8 is Cameroon, number 6 is Gabon. Then what is number 7? I have created a short story here. Gabon and Cameroon, they are husband and wife. Okay, and they have 3 daughters named as Guinea Bissau, Bissau, and 3 is Equatorial Guinea. So we have a husband and a wife. The Gabon is the wife, Cameroon is the husband, and they have 3 daughters. Number 7, as it's very nearby to equator, it belonged to Equatorial Guinea, as the name suggests, and their As per the size, the biggest country, smaller, and then smallest. Okay, so this number 7 is Equatorial Guinea, and instead of Guinea we should say Guinea. Okay, and the spellings would be Guinea. Guinea. We'll be talking about Guinea-Bissau and Guinea later on. They actually went away from their parents. Okay, now we are taking a very sharp turn here. After number 8, just see, it's something like a right angle. Okay, we are taking a exact 90-degree cut. So at this place we can say the west coast is over, and now we are coming towards the southwestern coast. Okay, let's see. Now coming to, let's give them a number here. Coming towards 1, 2, the small country, vertical one, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. Okay, now we have 7 numbers here. So 8 and 7. Okay, now we are not overlapping anyone. Number 1. Can you guess? It is one of the most famous countries. If you have any kind of email ID with you, and have you do you remember there are so many spams that usually come, and which says that you have won some 1,000 crore pounds or lakhs, and you should give some kind of numbers to us or your details. Do you remember such kind of spam or messages? They all are the gift of this place. Number 1, it is Nigeria. Nigeria. So usually those messages, those spam messages on your email ID in your inbox, they come from this place. All big shot, big hackers are placed here. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. If you have a little bit interest in music, then I can give you a musical name. So there are like 2, 3, 4. It is Benin, Togo, and Ghana. Benin, Togo, Ghana. Just in one thing, you can just speak them out. Benin, Togo, Ghana, BTG. So this was 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is Nigeria. Number 2 is Benin. Then 3 and 4. That is Togo, Ghana. So Benin, Togo, Ghana. As you all know, this is quite near to the equator. As we have already seen that it is quite near to the equator. Let me show it with the black. So because of this, there's a huge biological growth. It's absolutely great. It's awesome biological growth in terms of plants or in terms of animals or human life as well. And the people that we find here in this particular area, as it is very hot and humid, so the people are absolutely black with a very tall height of the people with bodybuilder physique that is usually found in these areas. If you have seen any African people from Nigeria or these places, it's quite easy to recognize them. Now when we say 1, 2, and 3, then that is Nigeria. Number 2, Benin and Togo. 1, 2, and 3. Let me write it. Benin, Togo, and Nigeria. Have you ever heard the word Negro? Negro. Though it's quite derogatory at present, and we should not use this word for any particular person, but still, this word Negro comes from the word nigger. That's nigger. And nigger in Latin, it means black. This country's name has come from this particular word nigger, and from nigger to negro, or from negro to Nigeria. Okay, so this is the word. Actually, when all Europeans came here at the time of industrialization, imperialism and colonialism were at their heights, they wanted to do a slave trade. The reason was due to heavy industrialization everywhere, that these people wanted cheap labor. So cheap labor was easily available here because they understood that these people are something that they won't say anything, and they are tribal in nature, and they do not know much about our world, and we can easily use them. So what they did was they captured several of these tribals, and there was a very famous tribe here, rather two. One was Hausa and other was Fulani. So Hausa and Fulani. So these two tribes, even they exist today, so they captured these tribal people here, and they they wanted them to get shifted to the other European world, that is the western coast of the western world, that is USA or the Southern America or Europe, to have their own work so that they can get more and more profit without or very paying very less to these people. Okay, so what they did was they used to take these slaves, these people as slaves, via ships from this particular Atlantic Ocean. So they kept the name of this coast as Slave Coast, and it is now even most famous. People know about this. This is known as Slave Coast even by today. So this is known as Slave Coast for these three countries. The coast is known as Slave Coast. Okay, this is the slave coast. If anyone asks where I'm going to slave coast, that simply means either he's going to Nigeria or to Benin or to Togo, and not to Ghana. Be careful, it's not Ghana. It's only Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. So these three countries coast is also known as slave coast, or these three countries are called as slave coast country. Okay. Now the number four, which is Ghana, it's quite famous by the name of Gold Coast. The number five is called as Cote d'Ivoire. Cote the you can Cote the Ivore, Ivore, Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, it's actually a French name, or English people, that is the British used to call this country as the Ivory Coast, the Ivory Coast. So the country initially was the Ivory Coast. Then they changed it. The French people changed it to Côte d'Ivoire. So as the name suggests, this place is famous, rather was famous, for the ivory, that is the tusk of the elephant. Tusk of the elephant. But 400 years back, there were huge poaching of elephants, and almost all the elephants in that particular area, they vanished off. Okay, so now at present it is only famous for grains and other kind of things and gold, but not the tusk of the elephant. But still, the name was kept as the Ivory Coast or the Côte d'Ivoire. Now, what is number six and seven? The last two countries of this southern coast. What are these two countries? They're quite English name here again. This number six is called as Liberia. It's called as Liberia, and number seven is called as Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. Okay, so this Liberia, you can just connect it with the word liberty. Liberty. So actually, as you're moving from the southern coast towards the western coast again, as we are just moving out, so we can say we are getting the liberty from the southern coast. So we can say from Liberia and then towards the Sierra Leone. All these are English name, easy to remember after the African names here and the French name here. And also, this particular country, Liberia and Sierra Leone, they combinedly they are called as the Grain Coast. As we know, it is the equatorial belt, and a huge amount of grain can be produced here. So what Europeans used to do, they used to take out grain from these areas. As European nations or the Northern America, we can say it's quite cold. It's very difficult for those people in the north of the Northern America, we can say, or the European belt. It's quite difficult to grow grains there because of the cold. So these people, if they wanted grain, they used to take it from this particular coast. Then is your Ivory Coast, the French capital, and then seven and six. There are six and seven. There is Liberia and Sierra Leone. And now let's move towards the remaining part of the seacoast countries, and it's quite less now. So let's give them a number again. One. Then a small country here. You can see number two, then number three, then number four, and five, and then are the remaining six. These all are the Atlantic coast countries at the western coast, the extreme west of the Western Sahara. Okay, this number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and 6. This number 1, do you remember Mr. Cameroon and her wife, Gabon? And if we remember, they had 3 daughters. Okay, so this Equatorial Guinea, she was very small, so they just kept it in between them as sandwich. So number 6 and 7 here, if you remember, Gabon, and then number 8 Cameroon. So this number 7, that is Equatorial Guinea, was just here. Okay, then what about Guinea and Guinea-Bissau? As I said, they went away from their parents. The eldest of the 3 daughters. Okay, so this Guinea, that became number 1, that is Guinea here. She came here, that is this place. Then number 2, that is this number 2. The second country is Guinea-Bissau. Correct. So Guinea-Bissau. Okay. Then what about number 3 and number 4? As we can see that the country 4 is being sandwiched, or rather it's in between this number 3. So actually this number 3 is Senegal. Okay, this is Senegal, Senegal, and this number 4 is the Gambia. The Gambia. Just like it's quite synonymous with the word gambler or the gambling. So this is the Gambia and the Senegal or Senegal. Okay, so I'm quite I just like girls at times. So this is Senegal. This number 3, which is this number 3, this is Senegal. Then number 4 is the Gambia, which is in between Senegal, and then number 5. This number 5 is again a girl. Can you guess? Let me write number 3 and 4 first. Senegal. Number 4 is the Gambia, and number 5 is Mauritania. It's similar to a girl again. It says rather Mauritania. Okay, it's Mauri. Mauri in Hindi means mine. So mine, and Tanya again, the name of a girl, Tanya. So my Tanya. So this is Mauritania. So this is Mauritania. This is the westernmost country, and then number 6. Again, taking a right turn, a little bit diversion. This number 6 is Western Sahara. It is actually at the extreme of Sahara, so its name is also Western Sahara. This belt is Sahara. This is the Sahara belt of Africa. So this number 6 is Western Sahara. Number 5 is Mauritania. Then is Gambia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea in the reverse order. So I hope we have done all these countries. Let's see how many countries have we done. So starting from 1. Okay, this 1, Morocco, Mali, Algeria, Tunisia, Liberia, Egypt. Then again Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Horn of Africa. Then Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Zaire, Congo, wife and daughter and husband, that is Gabon, Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, taking a right turn, it is Nigeria. Number 2, Benin, Togo, that's called the Slave Coast. Number 4, the Gold Coast, Ghana. The 5 number is for the French, the Côte d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast. Number 6, 7 is Grain Coast, that is Liberia and Sierra Leone. Then again to these six countries. This 1 is Guinea, then is Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and then the number 4, that was the Gambia, and then number 5 is Mauritania, that is Mauritania, and then 6 is Western Sahara. Okay, so we are through with coastal countries of Africa. Congratulations. In the next video we'll be doing with the inland countries, that is the landlocked countries and the island countries. So we'll watch you in the next video. Take care till then, and do practice. Do not forget. Have a good day ahead.